Faith has a new frequency. The Spirit of Huntsville. KHSPLP, Huntsville, Texas. Spirit 94.3.
All right, how about that to get your Thursday going?
Oh, I need it.
Jason, we've been talking a lot lately, you and I.
Yeah, it's been nice. It really has.
Welcome back.
It's been good to be here. It's not been that long since I've seen you.
No, it's been since about 1 o'clock yesterday. Well, no, last night we, Wednesday Night Live.
Sure did.
Well, hey, we want to welcome everybody in as we get rolling this morning. Welcome into another edition of Good Morning Huntsville here on a thankful Thursday. I'm out of breath, and that's not a good thing.
Oh, no. You've been working hard, Rob. You've been going strong. People don't know what you do behind the scenes.
Well, no, you shouldn't be out of breath, like just connecting a camera. You ever get out of breath before you do a sermon?
Oh, man. Running here and there and everywhere? Yes.
And today, I know you got a busy day today, so you'll be with us for about the first 3/4 of the show or so, and then I know you've got a lot going, my friend. So thank you for all that you do. I know that.
Oh, man. Thank you, Rob. You're amazing at the stuff that you're able to accomplish in only 24 hours in a day.
Oh,
you
man.
make the use of every second of it.
Oh, man. Well, Jason don't like this kind of stuff, but our pastor here, he works hard. And Jason, one thing I was telling somebody the other day about just, the importance of church and community and people coming together. It means so much that a church has a pastor who is always out there supporting people.
Well,
and
I appreciate that.
We get, you've been in the ministry for a long time, but I mean, we'll get phone calls from wonderful people and wonderful members of this church and even people in the community that aren't members. And, requests that to some would be like, well, I don't really have time for that. But here we never question any of that. And we had a family who we love dearly who asked to come pray over their home. And I know you're a humble guy, but I don't know many people that would say, well, they'd send a lay pastor or somebody, but here you were going out there and praying over that home. I think that's what it's about, man. So thank you for all that you do, Pastor.
Well, that's exactly where it's about, being with the people and getting out of the office is something that I love to do, is just to be out with the people and pray with the people. And it's so good just to. That's the reason I surrendered into the ministry, is to be with people. Sometimes we can get easily sidetracked and get caught up with meetings and planning and everything else, and we lose sight of our mission.
The Lord always provides some respite, I believe, at the right time. He wants us to get a little bit of rest. Obviously, on the seventh day, He rested. And I'm thankful that you get a break for the next couple of weeks. I know that's coming at the right time.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that too. Our spring break obviously is coming up this week, and Brother Don Jackson, he's our associate pastor here. He's going to be bringing the message on the family for the next couple of Sundays, and I'll be here. I'll get to listen and be ministered to, and instead of having to prepare a sermon throughout the week, and I can sit and listen to him and plan for our next sermon series after this one. So it's good to get a time away and to be with my kids over spring break and have a little time to get outside. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to be, hopefully, it's supposed to rain a lot, but we need the rain, but hopefully there'll be a few days of sunshine where we can just get outside and run around.
I was just going to ask, what were the plans for spring break? And you answered the question, man. So
yeah. No, we don't have anything on the schedule. Just take it a day at a time.
What is an ideal spring break for you and your family? I know, just kind of hanging out, relaxing.
Yeah, I like to get away from the house. Sometimes we live outside of Huntsville on our ranch there, where it's family land that's been passed down, and so we have a lot to do outside, and I try to get them outside, and sometimes that means just driving down the road to the national forest. I love walking in the national forest and getting outside and doing other things. I've tried to teach the kids since they were young to get outside and enjoy God's creation. So I think the best thing that you can do over spring break, if the weather is nice, is just to get outside. We'll play kickball or basketball or even a game of softball, but outside, it's just good to be outside with the kids, and that's what we try to do as a family, all ages. We just get out there and play a game.
It's good. You got the energy to do it, man. I'm sitting there like,
you got to make energy.
Yeah. Somehow you got to crank the energy out of the energy machine, wherever it comes from.
I guess so.
Well, we do want to welcome you in. Underwriting support for this program is made possible in part by Elliott's Jewelers, their website, elliotsjewelers.com, and also First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, because we know that hope comes through Jesus Christ. That website, fbchuntsville.org, as we're always joined by Pastor Jason Bay here at First on this Thankful Thursday. I jumped into this morning because we were kind of moving some cameras around a little bit later on the show, and we'll go off the FM, but I want people to stay with us on social media, because we'll have Coach Phil Longo joining us, and the quarterback Landyn Locke hanging out with us here in a little bit. They're just delayed a few minutes. They had something come up this morning. The NCAA. They've got some things that pop up from time to time, and so they just had to take care of something. But they'll be here around 8 o'clock, so you want to make sure that you stay engaged. And if you're not on the social media feed, make sure that you do that as well. But Jason, I'm reminded, we have been talking a lot lately over these past few weeks, and I feel like a lot more talking because of the FM signal, which is exactly why we wanted this to happen.
Absolutely. And, Rob, we were talking yesterday, you and I were sitting around talking about things to be thankful for, and this is the 190th anniversary of Texas. And I know Monday you were out there doing the March to the Grave for Sam Houston, and as Sam Houston's birthday and Texas Independence Day on the same day, March the 2nd. So today I listed top 10 reasons to be thankful to be a Texan. On this Thankful Thursday, something to be thankful for is to live in a state like Texas. So I listed top 10. Number one is the spirit of independence. Texas was once its own republic, and that independent spirit still lives today, and all sorts of Texans. Texans love freedom, hard work, resilience. The other day, we went down to San Antonio. My son was playing in a basketball game in the playoffs, and we drove down to San Antonio, and I made sure to stop by and show my daughter the Alamo down there, because nothing says independence and Texas spirit like the Alamo. Number two, Texans have a strong community and neighborly culture. In Texas, people still wave when they pass you by on a country road. Communities rally around each other during storms, tragedy, and celebration, and we've experienced that here over the last few years with storms that have hit our community, and just to see the way that the community always rallies together. Number three, faith runs deep in Texas. Church, ministry work, and faith center communities remain strong across Texas, and that's a good thing. Faith isn't just private in Texas. It shapes family, service, and community life. Number four of reasons why to be thankful to be a Texan is the wide open spaces and natural beauty of this great state. From the hill country sunsets to the Gulf Coast beaches, pine forest, and rolling ranch lands and big skies, Texas offers incredible natural diversity. Number five, Texas pride and identity. Few places have such strong identity. You can pretty much go anywhere in the world, and you mention Texans, and people know the identity of what it means to be a Texan. Number six, incredible food culture. Barbecue, Tex-Mex, kolaches, chicken fried steak, brisket is cooked low and slow. Texas food brings people together. In Texas, meals aren't just food, they are fellowship, and we know that good and well here at First Baptist Church, because we love to fellowship when we eat together. Number seven is opportunity and growth. Texas continues to attract families and business because of opportunities. People come here chasing dreams, and many people find them. We've seen such growth in our communities. A lot of people from California coming over and finding the true promised land here in Texas.
That's right.
Opportunity and growth. We're experiencing that in Huntsville in a major way as we see growth taking place in major ways. So these are top 10 reasons to be thankful to be a Texan. Number 8, sports and shared excitement. Friday Night Lights, college football, which we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit, rodeos, little leagues, upwards basketball. Sports unite and sometimes divide communities across generations. Texans love their sports. There's no doubt about that. Number 9, rich cultural heritage. We mentioned this the other day. Texas blends Native American history, which you saw that on Monday, Spanish and Mexican influence, Western frontier spirit, and modern innovation. Texas is a living story of cultures coming together. And finally, 10th is Texans help Texans, whether it's hurricane relief, community fundraisers, or helping someone change a tire on the roadside. Texans have a strong reputation for stepping up. The real strength of Texas is its people.
Texas.
And we see that, don't we, Rob?
We do.
We see that in the ministry, how people go out of their way to help somebody in need. And I hope that always remains the case in Texas, and especially in Huntsville. And really, there's no community that speaks Texan louder than Huntsville.
That's right.
Because of Sam Houston's influence here. And that's one of the things that makes Huntsville so unique is its ties to Texas history.
I was joking with someone on this show one time, and a good way to get a good ab workout is you have to say Huntsville the correct way. And what you do is you get it down right here, and you say Huntsville. And when you hear that, then you feel it tightening up.
You know you've done it right.
That's when you know it's Texas.
Yeah. The greatest probably reason to be thankful to be a Texan isn't just the history and the land or the traditions. It's the heart of the communities. And I love that about Huntsville. And, Rob, you have a tradition of asking people, what is it that you love about Huntsville? And I would guess probably about 9 out of 10 of the people have something to say about the people that make up this great community. And it is a great place to live and raise a family. And it still clings to those values that make it so strong, that run deep. And I'm proud to be a Texan, but more importantly, I'm proud to be a part of Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, it is a good place, and I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like we've been running and gunning so much lately that sometimes I forget to say, what do you love about this community? That's why we started this show. And, we don't get over to the phone line as much as we used to. And that's mainly because the Rob Hip prize bank account has ran down. And so we'll bring that back eventually. But there's only so many prizes that I can donate, and then we kind of run out of resources. So maybe one day we'll approach some folks, see if they want to underwrite some prizes to give away.
We're always working here on a shoestring budget. Rob has put this thing together, and I'm so proud of the work that he's done, and to get the message out about our community and especially about the Lord's work in the community.
Yeah, so it's all good. Hey, Josh, do you mind grabbing me that cup of coffee in there? I always feel bad, like I don't want to be that guy that asks Josh to go get the coffee for me. That's grunt work. But he'll do it.
Josh will do anything for anybody.
Thank you, Josh.
He's from Lebanon, but he is a true Texan.
He doesn't. Josh doesn't play. One day he came in here and he was like, "You want me to get you a coffee?" And I was like, "You don't have to ask me that, Josh. I appreciate that, but I don't. He's earned his wings. He's past the grunt work now.
Oh, for sure, man. He knows more about all that stuff over there than I could even think about. I'm scared just looking at all those monitors and devices and cords running out of that thing over there.
He's learned more. I think, about that stuff than I know now. So, well, Josh, as we continue this discussion, we'll take a brief break here in a second. But real quick from you, coming from Lebanon. You found out about this community because you were searching for criminal justice schools. You found out about Sam Houston, but I think I've asked you this before, but since we're on this discussion, when you thought of Texas, what was the first thing that came to your mind as you were living in Lebanon?
So my dad told us, "Hey,
wait, and the people need to see you on this show." Okay.
I flipped it.
Okay.
And so my dad told me. I still remember the place we were at. We were coming back from school, I think, or from church. And my dad asked me, "Hey, what do you think of Texas? What if we moved to Texas?" And the original plan was to move to Georgia. So I was like,
Georgia.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, no way, I'm not going to go and become a cowboy. So that's my original thought of Texas.
I was just thinking, one thing that we need to get Josh is a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
You would wear it pretty well.
Do you own some cowboy boots now, Josh?
No, sir. Not
Man,
yet.
we've got to get him some cowboy boots at least.
Yeah, you have to do that. We'll take you over to the boot place here in town. We got 2 boot places.
Well, are you proud now that you came to Texas instead of Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
100%.
There
Yes,
you go.
sweet tea.
Good answer. Right answer.
Sweet. They provide the peaches for our sweet tea.
So what is the reputation of Texas in Lebanon besides just a bunch of cowboys?
I don't know if I got this from Lebanon or from my cousins in California, but someone told me everything is big in Texas.
That's true. That's true.
Jason did have the top 10 reasons or the top 10 things about Texas a while ago.
Yeah, to be thankful for on this Thankful Thursday.
There are 2 that we're missing from that list.
All right, let's hear it.
The number one thing to be thankful for about being in Texas is none other than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I had sports on there,
But it didn't, and you and I are on the same page.
Mention Dallas Cowboys, but I should have. I should have included that. And by the way, did you hear of Dallas Cowboys from while you were in Lebanon?
No, sir.
Oh man,
They're not the world's team; they're America's team.
they're America's team.
Yeah. The number 2 reason
San Antonio
that makes Texas so
Spurs.
great, none other than the soon-to-be 6-time world champion San Antonio Spurs, which they did a throwback. Did you see this on NBC?
I didn't see it.
Remember the NBA on NBC?
Yeah.
They had Bob Costas in there, the other 2 guys, and they threw it back retro style with the retro graphics and everything on that night. And this was just a couple of nights ago, and San Antonio put a whipping. The Liberty Bell had another crack in it in Philly because they put a whoop on Philly.
Well, we'll see. It's going to come down to the wire because Oklahoma City has something to say about it, probably, Rob. But Dallas Mavericks have just mailed it in for the year. They packed up their bags and said, hey, we're going to just hold out for a good draft pick, and we're not going to get our stars injured. So, hey, what kind of basketball is that?
Well, the Spurs took the 76ers back to 1926. That's where they put them the other night. So, well, hey, time now coming up on 8 a.m. If you're on Spirit Radio, we'll head back to more music and programming, but we do want to invite you to stay on social media if you are on our social media feeds. Also, we would enjoy you heading over there. And so make sure that you go to HelloHuntsvilleTX.com or the YouTube channel. That is where the show will continue. The reason why, we have a very special 2 guests here from Sam Houston. It is none other than our head football coach, Phil Longo, joining us with quarterback Landyn Locke. We've got a great show that continues, so if you want to see that interview, make sure you head over to social if you're not there already, and maybe have some questions ready, too. We want to interact with you this morning. You can go to HelloHuntsvilleTX.com or the YouTube channel on Hello Huntsville. For now, though, we'll take a break. For those of you on the radio, so long. For those of you hanging out, stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, this is Rob Hipp, and I'm here to talk about a true expert in the real estate world. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Terry Coleman of the Coleman Realty Group.
With 33 years in the business, I've dedicated my life to making your real estate dreams come true. Specializing in residential properties, I serve Walker and Montgomery counties, from Spring to Trinity and areas all around.
They call her your next door agent, and here's why.
I'm not just here to help you find a home or lease a property. I'm here to build lifelong relationships. Whether it's residential or commercial, farm or ranch listings, there's something for everyone.
Now you might wonder, what sets Terry apart from other real estate agents? Well, it's simple. She goes above and beyond for her clients, like the time she surprised a family from California with a fully decorated Christmas tree and gifts when they returned from closing. You shouldn't have to compromise on the joys of home during life-changing moments. So, if you're ready to make your real estate dreams come true, here's what you need to do.
Visit my website at myrealtorterry.com and let's make those dreams a reality.
That's Terry Coleman, your expert in all things real estate.
I'm Terry Coleman, your next door agent, and I can't wait to help you open the door to your new life.
Hey friend, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. The new year is here, and what a better way to start out the new year than celebrating the moments that matter the most. And you can do that with Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville. Whether it's an engagement, an anniversary, a birthday, or maybe just a fresh start, Elliott hand selects every diamond, and he creates meaningful pieces that are designed just for you. There's no crowded showroom, no pressure, just personal attention and jewelry that tells your story. So again, start the new year with something timeless. It's Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville by appointment only. Book online at elliotsjewelers.com.
Hi, this is Braylon. You are listening to Feel Radio. God bless you.
All right, friends, welcome back out as we continue on a thankful Thursday. And man, I couldn't think of a more thankful Thursday than to have our friends from Sam Houston here with us. If you're talking athletics, you don't say State University. I learned that. Russell Martinez taught me that back in the day. So it is our friends from Sam Houston. They are from the Sam Houston State University, though. But Coach Phil Longo, quarterback Landyn Locke, hanging out with us. Coach, second time in studio, and we built this. We were thinking of you when we built this, Coach.
I'm sure you were. Yeah.
We said we need to step this up, so we've stepped it up just a little bit, Coach.
No, this is certainly it's very nice, very a major upgrade from my last trip here with Ray Burgess, which was, I think, about a year ago, wouldn't you say? I think was the last time we visited. So, morning, and appreciate the invite.
You bet. Well, appreciate you, Coach. I know we were planning this for about a month or so. I know your schedule, you guys always stay so busy, and such a privilege today to have Landyn hanging out with us. You know, he was with you guys last year, and just a great young man. I can tell, you know, it's the moment somebody walks in, you know that they're good people. And, Coach, I've always felt that about you. And, Landyn, first time I'm meeting you, I just knew this was an excellent young man. And that's what our show's about, Landyn, just promoting the good in our community. And one of the biggest goods is our university. And you're here today. And, man, just let us know real quick. Let's get to know you, Landyn, just for a moment. Let us know a little bit about you. I know from Rockwall, but give us the Landyn Locke story, man. How did you get to where you're at?
Oh, man. Yeah, I am from Rockwall, and had the opportunity to play at such a great high school, play quarterback there. And, you know, how I kind of ended up at Sam Houston was just my connections through Coach Longo. He actually recruited my brother when he was at UNC. And then, you know, he ended up coaching my brother when he was at Wisconsin. And then I was recruited by him when he was at Wisconsin, and I committed to him for, I think over a year, two maybe, long time. And so that's my connection through him. And then, you know, some things happen, and, you know, I ended up here and couldn't be happier.
Coach, you got to be careful, too, with some of these guys. I mean, he walked in, he's a pretty tall guy. You know, we got to watch out for Chris Mudge trying to recruit some of these guys off the football squad. You don't have that happen, though.
That's okay. I watched them win a game the other night, and there's a couple out there I would like to recruit for the football squad, so it works both ways.
Yeah, Mudge. So if you're watching, I'll send this to Mudge later. So, well, Landyn, man, it is good to have you in today. And Coach, I want to just highlight, you know, the great things happening through the university. You know, first year and getting dug in, and, you know, it's a building process, and you've talked about that. And I want to commend you just for the hard work. I mean, you guys put in so much effort and hard work, and you can see it when I see these guys. Like, I haven't seen Landyn out in public yet, but when I see guys, you know, I'm at HEB sometimes. I run into the football guys, and I'll say hi to them, and those guys are always so respectful. And Landyn, you are too. But I'm telling you, man, that starts from the top. That isn't something that just happens. That happens from an environment at home. It happens from an environment at the school, and I know that you instill that. And so many times, you know, obviously we get wrapped up in wins and losses, but I think the biggest wins is when these young men are doing what they do outside of the football game, and we're seeing that.
It has been encouraging. It's been refreshing to have an opportunity to do a lot of the character research this year. You know, last year we were so pressed for time, and we had some great kids in the program last year, but we didn't know them very well. You know, and it took an entire spring to get to know some, and then we had 33. Now what is really going to be 36 that came in June, and so these are new guys in June that are thrown into the fire in the summer. And they've got to learn an entire system with the team from an X's and O's standpoint. But they don't know the men that are our coaches that are on staff. They don't know the players that are there. They don't even know their way around town. And before you know it, we're playing ball. You know, I've got a great human being in Antavius Fish that came in last year in June, and he was an absolute warrior for us. He played middle linebacker and graduated in December. Never played on our home field, you know, and just because of the circumstances. And, you know, you're in and you're out quicker now, and that is the world of college football. And so this year, in relationship to what you were talking about with regards to the kind of people we're around, we were able to do research on all these guys over the course of this past year. And so the guys that we signed to add and surround Landyn with moving into the 26th season, you know, we've been able to do a lot more character research and athletic research before even inviting them to campus and signing them and bringing them into our family here.
You know, it was such an important jump to the FBS, and we saw some teams kind of lingering, and now they know the importance of making that jump as well. We've seen that throughout the league, and you guys, you know, made that jump, and you're here, and we've seen some incredible growth. And look at what's happening at Bowers. There's a lot of excitement. I feel, you know, and now I'm kind of on the outside looking in. I used to be on the inside looking out, now on the outside looking in, and it's a really cool perspective because I've always been a fan, but now I really get to be a fan, and I get to look in and see all of the great things, and I see a lot of excitement, not just in this community, but down in Conroe and Montgomery. We have a lot of alumni in that area, and you look up north as you go up north on 45 to the Dallas area. Coach, maybe, you know, over a little bit over a year at the helm now, what maybe highlight some of that excitement and the things that you're seeing, especially with the new stadium upgrades. I mean, this is going to be a phenomenal season on the way.
Well, you know, there are a lot of things that we had to overcome this past season. You know, one was just being hired later, you know, and in the world of the portal, being hired later really put us, you know, in a mode of playing catch up all year. Mm-hmm. And I kind of alluded to that as we were talking about bringing in the guys from last year. But when you're not here in town, when you're not on campus, you don't realize we just played 12 away games, right? You don't realize we were the only unfunded program in FBS football this past season. And you don't realize that, you know, we're one of the most traveled teams in the country last year, including a 9-hour trip to Hawaii, and then we're out at Oregon and Kentucky and, you know, all that stuff. So that can be pretty typical when you're playing 6 home and 6 away. It's a whole different ball game when you never see your own field. You know, we never had a touchdown cheered for the most part, you know, and never saw the Bearcat tailgating that I miss so much, right? Just never had an experience to see any of that. I hope I'm going to make sure I never have to go through a year where we don't have our own stadium and play home games. And obviously that won't be an issue here anymore. Excited about Bauer Stadium. It's right outside the window to my office. I see the progress every day. You know, they post it on social media a bunch, but I see it on a daily basis. And, you know, when you see something on a daily basis, you know, it's, we've got a pool going in the backyard at the house, right? And I love the fact that, you know, I don't like being away from the family for a lot of hours, but I don't get home until after dark most of the time. And so before I get to see the pool again, it's 5 or 6 days later, and you see the progress.
Yeah.
But if you see it every day, you don't notice it. With Bowers, I see something new every single day. There's, you know, they've got something new up. The glass is up. This is up. That's up. The stairs are up. Whatever they're doing, and so it's exciting to know that this is where we'll be playing. We're back at home on this field, and we'll be in front of a new stadium and a new atmosphere. And I think football here is going to be, you know, the main deal is the game. But I think the game in and around what's going on the field is going to become more of an event here at Sam Houston than it has in the past.
You know, as you were talking, Coach, I was gonna kind of allude to that. You know, playing all the games down in Houston this past season, and the word at first came into my mind was adversity, but I scratched that in my thought process because it's more of a challenge. You know, you guys are not being able to play at home per se, even though it technically was home, but it was a challenge, and I wanted to bring Landon into this conversation. You know, for your first year of being here, you know, just how do you fight through that? How do you answer that call? And, you know, talk a little bit about that from last year, man. I know you guys had some challenges, but y'all are rising up, and there's a lot of good things happening, Landon.
Yeah, no doubt. This last year playing at that stadium, it was great. Don't get me wrong, but we all know we wanted to play at our home stadium and have the crowd that, you know, everybody talks about. And seeing the press box go up and seeing the excitement around it, we as players couldn't be more excited to go out there on a Saturday and, you know, play where you practice and just like get after it under the lights. You know, the stadium was great out in Houston, but yeah, we're stoked and we're so excited to get after it. In Huntsville.
Yeah, I think, Coach, if I'm not mistaken, 138 teams in the FBS, and I know there's no excuses, but I can't think of any team that faced the challenges that Sam Houston not only had faced last year, you know, with facilities and the upgrades, but then I go all the way back to when I had the privilege of calling games, going through the COVID season. There has been a lot of challenges that Sam Houston has been through and has overcame. and has found a way to come out on top. And I think that is, I don't think I know. That's a phrase that I learned from another coach. He used to say, I think, and he'd stop and say, well, I don't think I know. I know that there are so many good things happening right now in the midst of, I guess what you could say adversity, but now with the new stadium, there's just a new momentum. And when I met you about a year ago, we met, Coach. I don't know if you remember, we were at the, it was when Coach Southern had stepped down. Todd Mabus was coming up. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, here's the new football coach for Sam Houston here, supporting the Huntsville Hornets in a local community. And that is such a good thing. And you're active, you're out and about, and that just shines through this community. I've heard so much positive feedback of saying, man, we appreciate Coach Longo and just how active he is in the community. I've asked you this before, but, we always have a new audience. But from your standpoint, how important is that for not just you to be active, but guys like Landon and the rest of the team to be out in the community?
I spent a lot of time talking to other head coaches, right? And in 36 years of doing this, I know a lot of them, and I've been blessed to have friendships with numerous guys that I think do it at a really high level. And so I don't care how good you get at something. I think doing research in your area, when I was an OC, I talked to OCs all the time, talked to DCs all the time in an effort just to get better doing what I'm doing. And that really hasn't changed as a head coach. And so there are a lot of conflicting opinions out there with regards to how to successfully run an FBS football program. And at the end of the day, I agree with some, and I don't necessarily agree with some others. I subscribe to the school of, no pun intended, but to the school of being entrenched in the place that, where you are. And that means not just the athletic community, who supports us so well, but it means being a part of the university, and it means being a part of the town that you're in, which, we're here in Huntsville. And so Tanya, my wife, and I plan on being very entrenched in what's going on in town. And we got to reunite with a lot of people that we knew already and rekindle some relationships. Many of those, though, truthfully, we have maintained even the 9 to 10 years that we're gone. And so it was like just reuniting. But there are a lot of new faces here too, Dr. White being one of them. Mm-hmm. And Dr. White is a great example of a new face here that is just a huge asset to the university and to the community and to athletics and in particular to our football program. And so it has been nice to see what has remained, which was a lot of the good about this place. And then it's nice to see a lot of the progress, and the physical progress is our stadium, but there's some progress behind the scenes, and that's people like a new face like Dr. White, working in conjunction with an athletic director who's been here going on 44 years in Bobby Williams. And it's encouraging for a football coach that everybody is rowing in the right direction, the same direction, and we're all thinking the same way. And you would like to think that winning on that football field this fall in Huntsville is going to do some things to generate revenue that will help athletics, will help the university, and will help Huntsville.
The biggest thing is we just want people, and I'm saying this from my perspective, I know Coach will echo this, we just want people to come out and support, be a part of this program, because it takes a community. We talk about it in the faith-based world all the time in ministry. It takes a community. We have to lift each other up and be there, and we do. I never, ever want people to ever take for granted what we have here in Huntsville. There's not many communities that have 40,000 less, that have a Division I FBS program in their backyard. I came from Georgetown, over 100,000 people. Southwestern University's there. It's a good D3 program. They're not a football program, but they have a football team. They brought that back. Man, I would do anything if I was younger and still lived in that community to see that as a D1 program. Landon, you think about that too. You came from Rockwall, a growing community. When I was growing up, I think that town had just a few thousand people, and now it's bigger than Georgetown, I think. It's grown like crazy. Georgetown, north of Austin. What was that transition like for you, growing up in Rockwall and now being here in Huntsville? I know that you see a lot of good in this community as well, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Being from Rockwall, it's such a great community. Just playing high school football there. I'm biased, but I think Texas has best high school football. But just the community, the tailgating before Friday nights, just really doesn't compare. And coming here, you know, this community is so great and so awesome, and they're so supportive, even when, you know, we don't see the success that you want to see, but knowing it's coming in the future, you know, and staying positive. And yeah, I'm just excited to get out there next season and show them what we're all about, and just seeing how the community can rally behind us, and, you know, see the tailgates that Coach Longo's talking about, and see that true game day atmosphere. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I couldn't be more stoked about it.
Coach didn't prep me on any of this, but I'm going to ask you a question real quick, all right?
All right.
So this is a really good chance for you to answer this one really, really well, okay? Coach Longo, you've known him for a while. What is something that he's taught you that's really stood out and helped you, not just on the field, but has helped you grow as a young man?
Yeah, just pretty much just through the ups and downs, just always being there for somebody. You know, he's been with me for a lot of years now, and, you know, I've had my ups and downs. You know, I've dealt with injury, and he's just always, you know, been with me, been the guy that, you know, I can turn to, and knowing like he's going to do the right thing by me, and just, you know, how to be a young man and grow into a even better person. That's the biggest thing he's taught me, just outside of football and on the football field. And yeah, just how to be a good person and really do right by people, and just always having a way to figure it out, whether it's your area or not, to help them and get through whatever they're going through.
Yeah, I think that's important, you know, and Coach, I appreciate what you do to invest in these young people, because, man, you guys are the ones that are going to be taking care of me and Coach one day, and so we need you, and I'm looking forward to everything that you're going to do. What's something that you're, you know, at Sam Houston? I just want to get to know Landon a little bit more. What's something, you know, at Sam Houston that's standing out to you that you've really enjoyed outside of the football program?
Yeah, I would just go back to the community. Seems like everywhere I go, it's never a bad experience, you know, like. It doesn't matter whether I walk into the local Chipotle and see somebody I know, or, you know, HEB or something. It's always good interactions. And that's something, and it's in a small town. And, you know, being from Rockwall, when I first moved there, it was more of a small town. Now, maybe not as much, but, you know, it's kind of that same feeling, like, you know, everybody's rallying around each other. And I feel like we have such a great community here, and just never having a bad interaction just really stands out to me.
Well, Coach, we're just, you know, if you think about it, just a couple of weeks away. Spring break coming up next week for a lot of young people. But then, I mean, spring football getting underway soon. Maybe highlight a little bit of the preparation and kind of what that's going to look like this year as you head into the spring football season, just getting ready.
Yeah, this spring will look very different from last year. Last year was an absolute, you know, and Landon and I were talking about it driving over here, absolute whirlwind. And but what we did do was we laid a blueprint for this program. And, you know, I think every head coach has a plan with regards to how to run the system. You know, what do they want with staffing and the roster and facilities. And, you know, and there's on our list, there are 12 different aspects to a college program. And you have a plan for all of them. Mm-hmm. And every coach out there that aspires to be a head coach or has already been a head coach, I feel a little bit of both. You know, I've already been a head college coach, but it was a long time ago. And college football is very different right now than it was when I did this the first time. And so I think you have to take this master plan that you have, but it fits differently into every university. You know, the plan that we had at North Carolina was different than the plan we had at Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. You know, the plan that we have here right now is not as similar as you would think to the plan that we had when I was here at Sam Houston the first time around, because the university is so different. There are pluses and minuses, and you want to fit it in like a puzzle piece. And so last year was a year to figure out how to do it at an elite level here with the resources that we have at Sam Houston. And those resources are ever improving and are forever getting better, thankfully to the commitment that Dr. White and Bobby Williams and many others have made to our program. But the biggest asset to this program is its players. But that's twofold now. It is the current players led by guys like Landyn Locke. And I have to say, I appreciate the kind words that he gave me, but Landon comes from an exceptional family. And I had the pleasure of coaching his brother, and I had the pleasure of recruiting him. every time mom and dad come to town, we try to spend some time with them. We just had dinner with or lunch with his dad, Trey, the other day. Tanya and I are better from having been around this family over the years, and so those are the kind of people that you want to bring in this program. But when I say it's twofold, the other piece is the biggest asset in a college football program is its players, but it also includes the past players that have put Sam Houston on the map and really kind of perched us where we are right now. Bobby has led and directed this program through all kinds of things. And now with tremendous challenges, he's finding a way to do it at this level. And that's what he does, right? But we have a body of 1,500 football alum here that we've reached out to, all of them. And they are getting involved at an incredible rate right now. There's more people involved with our program right now than I think ever before, just because we have so many new faces that are getting involved with supporting us in one way or another that just have not returned to do that before. And so this is an opportunity right now for me to say thank you to all those guys for getting engaged with their family from football and supporting the current family that we're about to put on the field this year in 26.
Landyn, I want to get in your head just for a moment because I think about you as a young man. What, 19, 20, 18? Man, Josh is 9. See, y'all look older than what you are. But I want to get into your head for a moment because you got your whole life ahead of you. You're here at Sam, and I think about all of the choices. I just mentioned 138 programs across the nation in the FBS level. What goes on with a young person such as yourself when you are thinking about going to college? Do you want to go play for that school that has the big stadium? Do you want to go for that school that has the big fan base? Or is there something else that really draws you in? And I ask you this question for a reason, because I really want other young people to grasp what Landyn's going to say. Because so many times I think we get wrapped up in this, we got to be involved in this huge, big thing in order to find fulfillment. But you are finding fulfillment right here. Not to say that Sam's not a big school, because it is, it's growing. But you have found fulfillment at this school. What drew you to Sam? And what would you say to that other young person out there that's saying, man, I got to go play for a Power 5 if I want to find success? That's not true. And I want you to answer that, because somebody is going to hear this and they're going to be like, that guy is the voice I needed to hear in my decision.
Yeah. All those, the big stadiums, the cool uniforms, the number of uniforms, and all that stuff, that's all really cool. And, I don't knock any of that. That's all awesome things. But I think really what it comes down for me is just the relationships. Who can I put myself around and make and better myself and not just grow as a player, but, as a person, like we talked about. And, also just like being close to home is a big deal for me. Early on in my recruitment, I didn't think that I really wanted to be close to home like that, because, we have a tight family where I come from, but after being, because it's only 2.5 hours away. And so just the chance to, wake up on a Saturday morning, just so, I want to go see my parents, that means everything to me. And so the relationships is the biggest aspect in my opinion, but also just being close to home matters more to me than I thought it would. And it's something I definitely take advantage of. And, I think that's a big deal. And like my brother, he's been far away in college. He's been at a few schools, but he's always been playing right away. And he just transferred to Tarleton, and now he's 2 hours away. And I mean, he's never enjoyed it more. He goes home every weekend, see my parents and see the family. And so it's pretty cool, having us all close to home. And so that's a big deal to me. But again, just the relationships, who's going to better myself, who's going to make me grow into a better man, and also who's going to develop me into a better football player in the future too. So
yeah, see, Coach, that's good. And I wasn't like fishing for an answer, but I knew that answer was going to come up. I knew that the word relationship was going to come up. And as I said earlier, it's because of the leadership from the top with Dr. White and folks such as yourself, Coach, that it's big on relationship. And I've learned at 41 that I wouldn't be where I'm at if I hadn't have been out there and had people that supported me through adversity, through things that I've dealt with. And that's the key. And Landyn, that's such a good answer, because I think more young people need to hear that, because we get wrapped up in the hype and all of these cool things. And we start to think, all the hype and the cool things isn't what's going to set us up for success. And you'll look back on this journey 20, 30 years from now and be like, man, I'm glad that I had that relationship with Coach Longo. I'm glad that I had that relationship with Sam Houston. Look at where I'm at now because of where they've carried me. Coach, maybe just kind of piggyback on that. I think it really is an important message for somebody to hear this morning.
Yeah, relationships has always been the cornerstone of everything. And our framework at the office, there's not a wall there's not a room you'll walk into where on the wall you don't see the words character and production. And it's in that order, right? And so I've been some places where the character piece didn't matter. Mm-hmm. You are coaching a lot more off the field than you are on the field, because you're trying to help guys manage their life off the field that really don't have any idea how to do that. So in an effort to keep the main thing within a football program, you want the majority of the time being invested in the football piece of it. But there is a relationship aspect to football, just as there is with any walk of life. And, maybe one of the most rewarding, and this is a little microcosm into what I'm talking about, maybe one of the most rewarding things that I've been through was during the 2024 season and the 23 season at Wisconsin. We had 7 different players from the past 30 some odd years of coaching fly out with their wife and their kids and spend the weekend with us and come to practice and go to the games, and we'd take them out to dinner and the night off. And these are players I coached 25, 20, 18, 15 years ago who are now adults themselves. They're not the kids that I coached. And they have families of their own, and it's remarkable to watch them sitting at our dinner table with their kids. Makes me feel old, but to have those relationships 15, 20, 25 years later, that all started just as a relationship between a coach and a player, and then it becomes a personal relationship. And I've actually hired 18 former players.
Wow.
Which has been very rewarding. AJ Hop, our line coach from last year, played for me. Antonio Williams, who is doing a phenomenal job right now, currently is our running backs coach, and he played running back for me at North Carolina. I don't hire players just to hire players. I hire players because I think we do a good job recruiting character guys and just great people, just great human beings. And at some point in your tenure with these guys over the course of 2, 3, 4 years, you realize these are the kind of people that I would want to be around my 3 daughters. These are the kind of people that I want to work with day in and day out. So I told Antonio Williams 7 years ago, I'm going to hire you at some point. And he had no idea he was even going to coach. He went to work for NASCAR for a little while. But cool. Here he is. He's in the business, and he's really good, and he's here, and we're blessed to have him. But those experiences that I brought up at Wisconsin based on relationships, the fact that we have some guys on staff here that I know and I trust, and because of who they are as people, those are relationships. And I would hope that 20, 30 years from now, I'm still communicating and finding a way to spend some time with Landyn and his family.
One thing that I think of is you can't have success. There's no way you can have success on the field, Landyn, without relationship. It starts, and that's in life too. But of course, your football team. You want to play football. Football is that's the core of it. You want to play. You want to find success on the field, and just like in the professional world, you can't find success unless you build a good team. And you have. How do you build a good team? You have good relationships with people. We've seen it so many times, especially at the professional level. You can have all the talent in the room, but if those guys can't find a way to get along and be in relation with each other, they may find limited success, but it's not going to be long-term success. As you head into this spring season, maybe highlight a little bit more about some of the relationships that you're building, Landyn. I know here for the first year already, but now in the second year, and maybe some of the challenges that you're working on, not with relationships, but just on the field and some things that you really want to focus on as you head into the spring season.
Yeah. With how college football is nowadays, I think the biggest challenge is just all the new guys that come in and having to, build that relationship and that chemistry as fast as you need to heading into spring ball. But that's where, taking on that leadership role matters a little bit more, putting yourself out there a little bit more. But it all starts in January with workouts and the throwing sessions that, aren't ran by the coaches. And so, going through those hard workouts like mat drills we just got done with, but seeing, who you can count on and who do you need to, bring up and pick up. And I think that's where a lot of the trust is built, is just in January and February, working through when the coaches aren't there and when it, technically you think this might not matter. But I think that's truly where it's built. And then by the time you get to spring ball, that's where it shines, the relationships and the chemistry you've built over that span of 2-3 months. It's quick, but it can be done. And the biggest challenge is, just that short time frame. Mm-hmm. But I think we've done a great job of bringing in a great group of guys, good character guys, and a lot of guys that can produce with us on the field. And I couldn't be more excited to really see what they have to show on the field in spring ball. And I think it's going to be really good, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people.
Coach, winning is important, but outside of wins, what is the one thing for you? Landyn just talked about, guys getting together outside of the coaching sessions and doing their own thing. What's one thing for you that as a coach, when you look at these guys, you said, man, all right, they're doing what I need them to do? If that question kind of makes sense, you think about when they get together on their own and you're not telling them those kind of things. What's that one thing that you're like, all right, these guys are starting to understand they're picking up what I'm putting down. Let me word it that way.
I spent a long time, I put a lot of time into hiring the staff that we have. I feel like we did it. I don't know what I've done good here in Huntsville yet, but I do know I'm proud of the staff we've hired because of the people, what kind of people they are. And the truth is, we didn't lose any of this staff. Our O-line coach stepped down from football for what was an incredible opportunity for him in another profession. But we did not have one coach on this staff, which the average number of coaches you lose on a staff every year is 4. Wow. And so we have everybody returning, and then we just added one new offensive line coach. People here are committed, and they know what the plan is here. And so last season, as difficult as it was to go through, we reminded each other, and we were, we had blinders on the only goal here, and that is to get the program where it needs to be successful here on the field. But part of that success on the field is going to come from the off the field success. And I hate to repeat what we just talked about, but it just comes back to those relationships with our players. It is rewarding to see our players around town, to see them at the basketball game, to see them, out at some sort of social event, or just seeing them in the hallway handling themselves the way that you would want to raise your son to handle themselves, right? And we probably don't have the same influence that parents have on these kids, but they're still young enough, in my opinion, to be able to set a good example and to do things the right way. I know this: I would not be sitting here doing what I always wanted to do and what I've been blessed to be able to do the last 37 years if 2 or 3 coaches didn't stop, take the time to have a relationship with me, and then decide to step over the line and do more than most people do for human beings and give me an opportunity to pursue doing what I'm doing now. And I every day feel like, the old adage, pay it forward. I just feel like that's the mode I'm in, and I'm excited about this team on the field this upcoming fall. But I'm also excited about some of the relationships I'm developing with some incredible people. And I'm looking forward to putting in a second year with this staff that we just assembled last year.
One thing as a fan, you want to feel like you're part of the team. You know, there's something special about going to a game and being involved, and then you get so immersed that you feel like, man, I'm part of this team. And I think as we talk about relationships, the relationships that you've built with people, Coach, I'm distant from the team. This year I want to be more committed to helping to promote even more about what you guys are doing. But I feel like I'm a small part of the team now in a small way. And I think every fan wants to have that engagement. I'm a huge Spurs fan in San Antonio. Back in the day, man, I used to get season tickets. I got to know Tony Parker's dad. He unfortunately passed away last year. But just that relationship, you started to feel like, man, I'm kind of part of this little tiny part of this team. And you find joy in that. I think every fan longs for that. Of course, winning is one of those things that always seems like it brings people together, but it's through the adversity and the trials that you really find out who's really committed. And I've been a Cowboys fan I've been saying 27 years now, this is going to be our year. And I'll probably say next year, 28 years, this will be our. But you know what? I still feel like I'm part of that team because it's been woven into my life as long as I've grown. I would assume, Landyn, Cowboys fan or not?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. All right. So just you heard it here first for anybody that was thinking differently. Landyn is absolutely a Cowboys fan. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You feel like you're part of that team, and it does start with the relationships. And one way, again, we are so blessed here in Huntsville because the fan base has access to the team in ways that maybe other fans don't at their universities. Coach, you've always had a policy. If you want to come by and talk to me, you know what? Just come by and talk to me. And I know people have engaged with that. And we've got an event coming up, and I'm leading, this is all a segue into an event coming up in August. I went to the auction last year. It was really awesome because the players were there. We got to see the new reveal on some of the uniforms. That was cool. But more importantly, you got to talk to people. You were there. You were interacting. I think if you really want to feel part of the team, come out and be part of these events like this auction coming up in August. Maybe highlight the importance of that, Coach, and piggyback on that conversation.
I would say this, and I can't speak for any other sport here at Sam Houston. You know, there are many things that many of the sports do, and they're all for different reasons. You know, I think every coach is going to address what they need in their program. But from a football standpoint, I would say it has been deemed basically a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We would like to change that, you know, and this is a good venue to be able to explain that. We are getting more and more people every week to get involved with our program, financially or otherwise. But we would like I alluded to the fact that the greatest asset for any program is the players, but it's not just the current players; it's the past players. Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity, and if somebody wants to get involved with the auction and get involved financially, fantastic. I think you can feel pressured with regards to going to a fundraiser. You feel pressured to have to do something financially, and there are those people who can't, or they can't compare maybe to some of the bigger donor, and so I think there's a little bit of pressure that comes with going to an event like that. Well, what we want this auction to be is if you want to get involved and you want to support Sam Houston football financially, fantastic, and we very much appreciate it. But we would like the rest of the population that, you know, we have some younger guys. They played 5 or 6 years ago. They're just building their life right now. They're probably not financially equipped to do what they're going to be able to do 20 years from now. But we'd still like them to come back. And so what we want to do is we want to run this thing consistently at the same time every year in our football world so that they all know there's one date every year that they can come back and reunite with former players. And any team that brings 15, 20 guys and they're all sitting at 2 tables, we're going to honor those teams when they come.
Oh, cool.
You know, because I want it to be a place where they can all reunite. I'd like to get the entire football family back, you know, obviously as many of them as you can every year, so that this is a bigger event and it's not just a money-driven event. I don't want to downplay that, but I think there can be another aspect to this very large social event that we have. We'd love it to double in size, just having those people come back so maybe they can play golf during the day with their buddies. Maybe they can reunite with teammates from 20, 30 years ago, right? And, I just talked to a guy that played here in 1964.
Oh, cool.
Right. And so I said, listen, I know when you get older, it's harder to travel, but he's talking about coming to the auction and he's never been to one. And so it'd be an opportunity for him to see a couple teammates and to meet a lot of people who have done exactly what he did. And that was enjoy some great moments on the field as a Sam Houston State football player. And that's what I would like. That's how I'd like to encapsulate this event it's a fundraising piece. That's the business side, but we want to make it a rallying point or a rallying date to get Bearcat football family back here. And that doesn't even mean just former players. I'm going to invite, I don't know if they can come, but we're going to invite Ron Randleman back, right? We're going to invite Willie Fritz back. We're going to invite a lot of the Todd Whitten. I'm going to invite anybody that has had success, Casey, anybody that's had success in the past back here, because they've all have made their investment and had their input in this program. And so this is just an opportunity to get them all back in the building at one time.
It's cool. I see Coach Randleman, I don't want to say every morning, but probably 3 times a week as I drive out here to the studio. He's always walking his dogs, and I make it a point that my children know that that's Coach. And I always tell them, they're little. We've had this discussion, as you have children too. Mine are 2.5 and 4, and I'll roll down the window. They're in their car seats, and my little boy will wave out, "Good morning, Coach Randleman." It's cool. But that's the relationships here in Huntsville and with Sam Houston, and that's afforded to everybody. All you have to do is just show up and be present and support these young men. Save the date. August the 1st is this auction coming up. We want you to come out and be a part. So go ahead and save the date. Details are coming later. I know Ray Burgess will be a big part of this again. It's so important to have people like Ray and many other supporters in this community that say, you know what, I want to invest back into Sam Houston. Chuck Jones is another example. He just joined our Rotary Club, and Chuck is very adamant on his support, and we need people to show up and be present. When you think about those kind of things, Landon, as a player, and we'll wrap up in just a minute because I want to talk about one more thing that's coming up, but just from a player perspective, when you think about folks that are out supporting and coming to these events, what do you think of that whenever you see guys like a Ray Burgess just saying, hey, I want to continue to support and be present at these events? I know it hypes y'all up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of the best things for us, and I think Coach Longo's done a really good job of introducing us to the big names and just people that come by the building and have made their impact in our program. I think he does a great job of introducing us and just shaking their hand and showing your face, I think is awesome. And things like the auction is a big deal for us. And if when people start supporting, good things happen, in my opinion. And I am thankful for the people I've met, and hopefully I can continue those relationships in the future. And I think he's done a great job of introducing us and just helping us build those relationships with the people that have came here, and made their impact and shown their investment in different ways.
One of the coolest things is, Coach, that everything that we see, even this tape, I think of like minuscule things, but somebody had to design this table. Somebody had to have the knowledge to do this. Somebody had to have the knowledge to put in glass. Somebody had to have the knowledge to build a road. Everything that we interact with every day is because somebody had an idea. Somebody had a vision. And my dad always taught me this, that we are only limited by what we think about. And if we think that we can't do something, then obviously it's not going to happen. But even when you think of it from a university perspective and you see the big schools and all that they're doing, somebody had to have a vision somewhere, and somebody had to start thinking big. And friends, I want to encourage you, Sam Houston is thinking big. That's why they made the jump to the FBS. That's why you're seeing the upgrades at Bauer Stadium, and you're seeing it through all of the athletic department. As you mentioned, Bobby's done a phenomenal job. I don't know of any other AD that's been through everything that he's been through over the years. I can't wait for the day that he writes a autobiography and talks about his journey, because it's going to be a fun read. But it starts, and we truly are limited by only what we think. And if we think that, you know what, we can compete, we can do these, and you guys are doing that every day, and it takes people to be involved. You've seen that throughout your career, Coach. I know that there's some real things that have to happen, obviously, but it all starts with how we think and what we think about. And if we think big and dream big, the reality is those things could come to pass, and we're seeing it.
Well, I mean, just even this entire area is exploding, right? And they're you know, we have, I think, 78,000 people in the area, and they're projecting right now in the next 3-4 years we may have over 150,000. So you're talking about the population in the next 3, 4, 5 years doubling, right? There's a new highway coming through, and it won't be here for 10 to 15 years, but you're going to see people prepping for that, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, because, you know, they want to set themselves up for what is going to be probably the next major area of growth. You know, Houston has expanded. It's one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country. You know, I live in Montgomery County right now, and I was told it's the fastest growing county in the United States. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I know what's going up around me, and you know, it's impressive. There's something new every day as I drive home. You know, so Willis and New Waverly do not have the infrastructure that the Woodlands and Conroe does, and so what's happening is Houston is exploding. It's blown through the Woodlands. It's blown through Conroe. You're getting to a lot of open acreage in Conroe. I mean, in Willis and New Waverly, and so this explosion is taking a 20-minute jump north to Huntsville, well, where we do have some infrastructure. And, you know, there's new businesses opening up every day in town. I think Huntsville is going to look very different here in about 5 years. I think the university is going to look different, and I certainly believe the football program is going to look different. And so what we want to do in-house, this is what our staff talks about. We want to be an aspect of the university that is out in the spotlight. That's just what football does for you, that our university is proud of, and that will service our university in a way that will advance the entire school and not just football. Do we want to win ball games and collect trophies and win championships? Without question. It's one of the top goals in the program. And so, but to do that, and it's very hard to do anything consistently in this world. Very, very hard. We talk to quarterbacks all the time. You got to make 80 good decisions in 3 hours. That's not an easy thing to do. And so we're going to build this program patiently. Parents and recruits and fans don't always want to hear that word patience, but we want to build it the right way so that when we get where we want to be, we can sustain success. Building this and doing this at the FBS level is very different than when we built it and did it at the FCS level. It's completely two different animals. And so Bobby Williams and Dr. White and myself and many, many other people who are supporting us, when you've got to look at something in a progressive way to believe that it can be somewhere it's not right now. And that's what we're doing. And I think I'm as excited as any fan out there to get in the spring ball here and mold this thing. But I cannot wait for the home opener here at the new stadium in 26 in September.
A football program's not a credit card. You know, credit cards are, you get what you want right away. It does take time, and patience is the key word. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, Coach, that, you know, back in the day, our parents and our grandparents had it really tough. For my generation, we've had some tough things, but we haven't had it as tough as my parents and especially my grandparents. There was no such thing as credit cards back then. If you didn't have the money, you didn't buy it. You had to work for it. And that's the same thing I think about as you were talking. That for some reason that memory popped into my head, that it is a building process. And I learned this from coaches, that you have to trust the process. And the more people that can buy into that and understand that that phrase really is a legitimate phrase, good things come to those that wait. You do have to advance, you do have to move things, but you also have to build things, and you have to have the right foundation. I believe the Sam Houston absolutely has the right foundation. One final thing coming up, Coach, I wanted you to highlight the Cat Attack Camp. This is coming up starting on June the 18th. Tell us a little bit about the camp that's going to run the 18th through the 21st.
So it's 4 different camps, 4 days in a row, and it is really an opportunity for us to give back to the local community and to the state of Texas and anybody else that wants to be here with regards to helping these high school football players develop their skills for the next level. And some of them will realize that dream and some of them will not. But what we want them to do when they leave the camp is feel like we've gave them some tools to improve themselves. And then, you know, the business side to this whole thing, and there is a business side to all of it. is not necessarily the money that we're raising, but it is the prospects that come. So this is an opportunity for us to invite high school prospects. High school recruiting has been cut in half in the last 2 years because of the portal and transfer recruiting. But it is still a major priority here. You know, we signed 17 guys that will drastically impact our program over the next few years, and it will remain. There's a lot of different conflicting opinions out there about how to run the program and who to recruit and who to retain. But we feel strongly that high school recruiting, particularly in the state of Texas, which is one of the best overall cultures for football in the United States, we all know that, is going to remain a priority here. So this is an opportunity, these camps, to invite those Texas high school prospects and any other prospects from anywhere in the country that want to come and work out in front of us. There's nothing better than seeing somebody live. And so to have those guys come out here, we signed numerous guys that we had in camp last year. So that'll be 4 days, and it also, there's a silver lining to this, and that is it gives players an opportunity to go coach.
That's cool.
And I think it's an eye-opening experience sometimes, because after 4 days, they understand a little bit more what we go through with them when we are going through this process. Most beneficial year I ever had was the year I hurt my knee in my junior year, and I had to take off a year of football. And John Bunning, my college coach at the time, played Philadelphia Eagles linebacker with Dick Vermeil, was kind enough to get me involved in coaching, and so I did that for a year. I was a student coach for 1 year. That's the year I decided this is my calling and this is what I want to do. It also, though, gave me a huge eye under the spotlight into what these coaches are going through, trying to develop us on and off the field. And I was a much better player coming back after that experience than I ever would have been if I had not gone through that. And so I almost feel like this gap year that they all talk about, right? I wish they all had to go coach for a year and then come back. And I think they'd be better students of the game, because they would understand how important it is. They'd also understand how difficult that process can be when a player doesn't meet you halfway. And that's the job of a coach, is to find the way to reach each player, and they're all different, to get them to the same point where they're good enough to help our team on Saturday from a contribution standpoint. So if you can't tell I'm excited about this year, you're not listening.
Yeah. Go back and hit the rewind button. Landon, real quick, we'll wrap up here in about 2 or 3 minutes. You faced some adversity your senior season, I believe, battling some injury and rebounding from that, and found a lot of success there at Rockwall High School. I'm sure that you threw the headset on and probably coached some guys for a little bit, right? As a senior, did you get an opportunity to do that through any of that injury?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the coolest experiences for me. Was obviously playing is the best thing, but being able to go out practice and just like see coach coming over to coach him, I'm like, I already got him. I already told him. And one game, because I tore my ACL, and I didn't know if one game I did sit in the box, and it was cool just to see how, because as a player you don't really think about the coaches in the box, because you're on the field, you're playing the game, you're not thinking about all that, and it's cool to see their point of view from being in the box and how they do things. And that was a really awesome experience for me, just being able to coach up the other quarterbacks, the younger guys, and put forth your words of wisdom and stuff like that. And it's a great experience, and kind of like you said, it made me appreciate the game more. It made me kind of fall in love with the game even more. It was really cool getting to be that, not like authority figure, but a guy that can still put forth your foot forward for the team, and even though you can't perform out on the field.
Coach Landyn Locke's got a good ring to it, one day. Coach Locke. Lock him down, man.
Well, I think his older brother, when he's done with his career, is going to be one heck of a ball coach too. Braden will be the starting quarterback at Tarleton State. He was our starting quarterback for 2 years at Wisconsin. I tell him all the time, Landon's the taller, smarter, better looking, more athletic version of him. But I think Braden, his brother, is going to be a phenomenal football coach. And if Landon chooses to pursue that in the future, I have no doubt from a character and a knowledge standpoint that he'll be successful. Right now, I'm interested in helping him develop physically so that he can be the best quarterback he can be. And it wouldn't surprise me if you're watching Landyn Locke play for quite a while.
Awesome. Well, Landyn, I'll let Coach have the final comment here in just about a minute. But from you, final comment from you. What do you want to say to the fans out there, to anyone that's planning on coming out, watching Bearcat football? Maybe they haven't came out in a long time. What would you say to that fan about the upcoming season?
I would just say come out and support. It's going to be a fun year.
Awesome. So. Coach, great as always to have you, man. I appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man, and I appreciate the extended interview this morning. Maybe just a few final comments from you as we wrap up today.
I just want to thank you. I mean, I appreciate what you do for the community, and we talk about that all the time. You and I have had some good conversations. I appreciate the invite to come over. It excites me when I have an opportunity to introduce you and expose you to guys like Landyn. You'll meet some others in the future, and I'll extend an invitation to come out to spring ball at practice. Love to introduce you to the team. And I would tell any alum that's out there, we would welcome your presence at practice this spring or this fall at any time. Families of our players, families of our alums, families of our coaches, and anybody in the Sam Houston Bearcat circle is welcome at any workout, at any practice, at any time. We say it's a family. It's not just rhetoric. Mm-hmm. It's how we do everything every day, and that'll continue as long as I'm here.
And there's not many Division I coaches that'll get on the phone and hit the call send button as many times as you have to alumni. So thank you for your investment, Coach, and continuing to get people excited. That's what it's about. It's about winning on the field. It's about all of that encompassing success. It's all about lifting these young people up. You put that all into a bowl. That's what it's all about. And so very excited about this season. And we want you to come out again. Mark the calendar, August the 1st. Thank you guys so much. We'll do this again sometime. It's been fun, Coach.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Landyn, thank you. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Josh and I will wrap it up when we come back. Stay with us as we continue promoting and celebrating the good here in Huntsville. Part of that good, as we always say, is our university at Sam Houston. We'll be back in a moment. Josh and I will close it out when we come back. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us.
Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust.
Hey friend, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. The new year is here, and what a better way to start out the new year than celebrating the moments that matter the most. And you can do that with Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville. Whether it's an engagement, an anniversary, a birthday, or maybe just a fresh start, Elliott hand selects every diamond, and he creates meaningful pieces that are designed just for you. There's no crowded showroom, no pressure, just personal attention and jewelry that tells your story. So again, start the new year with something timeless. It's Elliott's Jewelers here in Huntsville by appointment only. Book online at elliotsjewelers.com.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Are you ready for a better way to bank? Join Walker County Federal Credit Union today. As a member, you'll enjoy low-cost loans, no annual fees, and easy online access. We're not just a credit union. We're a community dedicated to your financial success. Experience friendly service tailored for just you. Why wait? Join us online at walkercountyfcu.com or drop by our location at 1802 Normal Park Drive, Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Faith has a new frequency. The Spirit of Huntsville, KHSPLP, Huntsville, Texas. Spirit 94.3.
Little upbeat morning here on Good Morning Huntsville. Thanks for hanging out with us as we wrap up here in just a few moments. Man, I took a picture just a few moments ago. I look like I haven't slept. And welcome in, everybody. I stepped over to the production seat that Josh normally sits in for a minute. This is kind of a cool place to hang out over here, Josh. I stepped over here. Josh had to step out just for a moment. He locked his keys or something. I don't know. He found them. So, all right, Josh, I'm giving your seat back up, buddy. Here he is, Josh Mashi, everyone. Here he is. Give him a round of applause. Wait, do I have one of those cool little? Let's see if I have one of those soundboards here. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Josh Mashi, everyone. All right, it doesn't work, Josh. I tried. Here he is, Josh Mashi. I'm going to go back to my chair now, okay, Josh?
Hey, everybody.
All right, well, I got back on. I had to rush over here. It's a pretty long journey, Josh.
It is. It's like from one studio to another.
Oh, man, I'm out of breath after that. What a great interview, man. I so appreciate Coach Longo. You know, I love giving him an opportunity to – I'm privileged with the opportunity that he comes by. I mean, he is a very busy man, but, you know, again, to think about it, Josh, the university, you're a part of it. You know, what's made Sam Houston so special for you? You're not even involved in athletics, but you have found so much success through the university and other avenues. What have you loved most about your journey as a Bearcat? Eat 'em up.
Honestly, I really love, like the culture of Sam Houston. Like you can walk up to anybody and they'll be friendly. And the other day I walked up to a guy named Brian, and he was sitting in the pit and I just walked up to him and I started talking to him.
The pit, is that like in the LSC? Like what is the pit?
The pit is where Old Main used to be before it burnt down.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a wannabe Bearcat. I didn't know that. I got accepted to Sam Houston, but I never took a class.
Where'd you go for college?
I was going to ORU, but I've pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a Bearcat is a privilege. Honestly, I love being a Bearcat. I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Bearcat.
Bearcat.
It's not that kind of a cat, Josh. It's a bear.
Yeah. Honestly, it looks more like a sloth than a bear.
It's the mighty sloth. It is cool, though. It is neat. And I always talk about that, man, life is so short. And maybe this is the final discussion today as we'll throw some faith into this discussion. You know, life is short. Jason read a story yesterday on lunch break about a young man who was on that show, The Deadliest Catch, 25 years, just getting his career started on that show, and he fell over and passed away. He was in the water for 10 minutes. And friends, we don't know what the future holds, but let me rephrase that. We do know what the future holds for those that don't believe. We do know that. You know, when people say you can't predict the future, I can predict the future. I can predict the future. If you don't know Jesus Christ, there is a hell that is very real. There's also a heaven that is very real. So yes, I can predict the future in telling you that if you accept Christ as your personal Savior, that you have a future of hope and joy and everlasting life. If you don't, you have a future of dismay and despair and everlasting death. And that's the truth. And in order for us to talk about our faith, we have to be real and we have to be honest and we have to be bold. We can't hold back from what God's word says. But life is so short, Josh, and we have to be serious about that. And I don't want anyone's ears to ever go deaf to the things that we talk about when we get serious about faith. I know some of you are just listening. You're like, whoa, that went serious quick. But it's because there is a time to be serious. Mm-hmm. When we talk about the sacrifice that Christ made, we were in Wednesday Night Live last night. Got started again. Hey, were you guys doing worship in y'all's room in there?
Yes.
That's cool. Were you playing?
Yes, sir.
It was beautiful to my ears hearing the worship coming out of that room. This was a college group, right?
No, sir.
No. What do you do?
So
junior high? Is it the junior high kid?
I do sixth graders.
Okay.
But last night, the youth went on a trip. And that trip, like some people were not able to catch the bus, so they just went to the actual, what's it called, the Sunday school class that I teach, which is sixth graders through eighth. But
FYI, here's my look at Josh. Josh, flip over to 3. This is what I see. All right, there's 1. Look, that's my view of Josh right there.
You can barely see my eyes.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. Okay, let me raise this up a little bit. Because I do see your face.
Okay.
That's okay. This is more legitimately my view of the Josh Mashi. Right. Let me get my eyes in focus. Right there. This is for the people. This is what I see.
Yeah.
It's kind of your chin's kind of cut off on me.
I wish I can grab this and show the people what I see.
Anyways, sorry. Continue on, Josh.
But yeah, we had some youth kids joined in with some middle school girls. And so I was like, this is a really interesting group of people because like you usually don't have seniors in high school sitting in the same classroom as sixth grade girls. And I was like, Lord, I know there's something for everyone here.
Yeah.
And you're being intentional. And so I took that time to be intentional with that.
We need to be serious in that time, and when it comes to our faith and when it comes to our relationship with Christ, we absolutely have to be serious. One thing that I learned, you can take in hordes of information and sometimes only remember a few things. And the biggest takeaway that I got from my time at ORU is this, that we sometimes take the Bible literal, but we always take it serious. And so this morning, for anybody out there that has been questioning their faith, it's time to make the decision today and accept Christ. It doesn't mean that things are going to be easy. I've always said, in fact, because of experience, and I know that the Bible knows, the Bible talks about it, the persecution for those that follow Christ. And there will be times of persecution. There will be times of spiritual warfare because we know that the enemy is always attacking. He's given dominion over this world. But we can put our full hope and trust in Christ, as God's word says, and we can move forward. And so this morning, I want to encourage you to think about that and get plugged in to a good church, because you need a community of believers. If I wasn't connected here at first, man, I don't think that I would have grown as much as I have in my walk with the Lord. And I'm nowhere near anywhere that I want to be. In fact, none of us are ever anywhere near where we want to be until we get to meet Christ face to face one day. But man, just a good morning. It's fun to hear from Coach, from the players, and Jason, I know he had a lot going on today, so we didn't have the news you can use, but we'll bring that bring that back next week. Well, Josh, we got to get rolling. Any final thoughts from you, man? Thanks for hanging out today, buddy. Appreciate you.
You said something earlier, and I've been thinking about. No, it's a good thing.
Okay, I always get nervous.
You said something about like you're gonna predict the future. Actually, in the book of Revelations, it says the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And so whenever you share the gospel, you're prophesying because of what Jesus did and the hope that we have in him, and that like those who believe in him shall not perish. That's a prophecy that is yet to be fulfilled to everyone. Like for me, it's yet to be fulfilled. Once I perish, I will not die. I will have eternal life. And so I find that really interesting, like what you were saying.
Yeah, man. I never thought that, because people say, well, you can't predict the future. Well, there are some things that we know that we know as Christians that have faith in Christ. We do know what the future holds, as long as we have faith in that.
Yeah.
And I think that if we don't have faith in that, then we need to, I'm not saying it in a negative way, but we need to reevaluate our walk with Christ. And maybe today some of you are questioning, man, am I really in a relationship with him? It's never too late to ask the Lord into your heart. I think one of the greatest things that I've heard recently was someone that you know, and I won't go into names or details, but he questioned a young man and said, I don't think you really know the Lord. And it was because of that bold statement that young man accepted Christ. He said, you know what, you're right. I thought that I did, but you're right. I was just going through the motions. I was just checking off a box when I was younger because I thought that I had to. I never really understood what it was like to have a relationship with Christ. And my prayer is to fear the Lord. It's a new prayer of mine. Lord, I really, the Bible is very clear on fearing the Lord. And it's not a scary thing, but I want to do things that please him. And I mess up a lot. I mess up a ton. The Bible's clear that we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That is why we need Jesus Christ. And so take that with you as you go today. I know it's a whole hodgepodge of things that we've talked about, from faith and to the university, but I think it all ties back into life in general. And think about the mission and what you're doing today. Are you serving other people? Because if you're not lifting them up, I believe you're pushing them down. Josh, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun today. We will be back at it tomorrow. The Billy Cawthon joining us from Sam Houston, almost said Sam Houston State University, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We'll have a good friend joining us that has not been on the show before, and I am looking forward to having her on the show. And I know her last name, and I'm trying to remember her first name to make sure that I have it right. And man, I know who it is, Josh. Help me. Hold on, Josh. Hold on, because this is embarrassing. I'm very sorry if you're listening. I can't even find it on my calendar. You know what I did? I changed my calendar to monthly view, and it's made it very difficult to find out what's going on. It's Emma. I was going to say Emily. Emma Okerlich joining us from the Walker County Chamber. I'm sorry, Emma. You won't see this, so I'll bring it up tomorrow. Till then, as I end every broadcast, reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other, so please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you next time. See you, Josh.